What the hell are you doing?
Grab him.
The movie is very visceral, it's really fun, it's fast-paced.
Oh!
There were places that have never been shot in before.
Action! Taxi!
I think the city looks like a really magical place. If there is an American city that sort of stands in for the city where the headquarters of fate would be, it's got to be New York.
George is kind of an architecture buff, so he was running around the city scouting locations by himself before we even had a green light.
We're trying to have a real authentic movie. When you're in New York City, luckily there's a lot of places that people actually did what we're doing in the movie in those rooms.
I'm gonna go through Yonkers, I'm gonna go door to door and take the city that way.
We love
Very, very rarely has a movie taken advantage of New York as we did in terms of the visual imagery that it provides.
I think that was always what George wanted, was for it to be another character.
This has depth.
It's an incredibly ambitious project in terms of number of locations, but we get such huge production value that you could never get by building.
What if I could move as fast as you? Teach me about the doors.
Tráilers. Visita mi canal.
Part of the mystique of the Adjustment Bureau is they can travel incredibly fast throughout the city and throughout the world. And my first meetings with George, the first things that he said to me were that we don't want these transitions to be effects transitions. We don't want sparks flying when people go through doors. We want it to feel seamless.
Hey! Excuse me.
So one of the most interesting scenes for me and sort of the most challenging from my perspective has been this scene that we call the Blue Door. And the idea with the Blue Door is that David is rushing to stop Elise's wedding. And on the way there, he has to go the shortest distance that he can go to get there fastest. And he comes in the doorway, and the camera moves around David, and behind David, you're seeing windows to another interior space. And then out the door, you're seeing this rainy alley that he just came from. So clearly the rainy alley wouldn't exist within the interior space, but we had to sell that idea in one camera shot. So we did a previs, and it ultimately ended up being broken up into 3 separate pieces. We had the shot of David running into the hallway, and then we shot another piece of what was behind the counter at the hallway because the counter didn't actually exist in that location. And then we shot a third piece of the alley, which is behind David. So essentially you sandwich all these together and you get a space that hopefully the audience will look at and not ever question as a single space.
What a feel, wow. Wow. Almost as nice as Fenway.
Yankee Stadium is really, it's the first moment that we experience the door transitions with Elise.
What's going on?
In this scene, David and Elise emerge from the courthouse bathroom and they go through this door
Tráilers. Visita mi canal.
to center field at Yankee Stadium.
Okay, we gotta keep moving. There's another door here. Come on.
So what we decided to do here was rather than doing a visual effect at the front, we built part of the set here at Yankee Stadium. So that they walk out into Yankee Stadium, they see this grand vista of the stadium, which is real, and then they exit out this way to another door that leads to a rubber mat. And the idea here is that we are going to replace what's here with a piece we already shot, which is David and Elise running up the stairs and coming out at 6th Avenue and 54th Street.
We're being chased. Stop, stop, stop. Door, 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 door.
They go from 6th Avenue, 54th Street to the Statue of Liberty.
Action! Oh, shit. Find another door.
David, what the hell is going on?
Then they go from the Statue of Liberty to the Adjustment Bureau headquarters to take on the man.
A lot of the construction and building we did was to tie in different locations to one another with visual effects.
There's a scene that can't be done practically. David and Elise are fleeing from the Adjustment Bureau, and they run up a set of stairs. This is what we're calling the Escher Stairway. And the idea here is that David and Elise run up the stairs out onto the roof of Top of the Rock. So they decide to come back down, run out of this doorway, and they emerge on the exact same roof. They turn around and then they see the Adjustment Bureau intervention teams coming up at them, and then they chase them back out onto the actual roof of 30 Rock. The camera needs to be able to reach into the set, so we've only built a third of the set on the left side that we will then be extending and adding the roof later in post. And then, of course, we're adding the view of 30 Rock outside.
Production was looking for a rooftop, and we were having trouble finding it. Finally, George and I came up here just as tourists, and George said, I think we found our roof.
They see that they're on the roof again. Right. It's Escher stairs. Right. And they turn, they hear a door banging through them. They turn, they look, and they see these guys. Action!
Top of the Rock is awesome because it's in Midtown. So you can see Central Park behind me, and then if you look this way, you can see all the way to the Statue of Liberty. There are not a whole lot of buildings that give you that. The other thing is this is a finished roof. They have floors, they have power, they have elevators up to it. So those are really practical things that end up making a lot of your decisions.
We'd like to think that maybe there was something guiding us to this roof to find it in the first place. It was very thematic.
Y tus trailers, visita mi canal.
With all of these practical locations, we just had to figure out how to shoot in them. Each one posed different problems.
The trick of it is like bathroom to Yankee Stadium to 6th Avenue.
I think it was so essential to the film that we gave it that grit and the elegance at the same time that New York has to offer.
I don't think George will write a movie that's so location heavy ever again. I think he understands now.
It made it a real bitch to shoot, but I think it paid off.
Set a traffic jam on Broadway. Too many ripples. He's getting out of range. I hate downtown.
You just realize how much incredible beauty there is, natural and obviously man-made in this city.
It most likely will look like a love letter to New York.